Alright, I'm getting ready to start doing my wiring harness here. I've already got the box mounted up. Already mounted up there on the firewall. This is a universal type box, but I like using the universal ones when you're modernizing one of these cars, because you get all the extra wires and stuff for power windows and door locks or whatever you're going to use, fuel pumps, etc. So it's just a lot nicer of a system to use when you're upgrading the car. With the universal ones, you get stuff like the fans and stuff like that if you're going to use electric fans. So you get all the wires to run the relays and stuff like that. Just a lot nicer of a system. And being able to move the column, or the switch to the column. This one comes with all the stuff. This one's got a control box, which is pretty cool. A lot nicer than trying to use a bunch of relays. But we'll start laying it all out. Unbox them and hang them up. You'll have all these nice rolls, and each one of these rolls goes to a corresponding place. Some are taillight, some are dash, some are engine. And just take them and unwind them one at a time until you figure out which one it is. There it goes. And then I start splitting them up into different areas to make it a lot easier. But you read right on the wire, it says where it goes. This is the front end headlight section right here. So you just take that, toss it out of my way towards the front of the car. And this one here, it even comes with the speaker wire in it, so you don't even have to run speaker wires, which is pretty nice. Not having to do all that extra work of running stuff like that. And this one here, it's most likely the back end section. This is Headlight. And fuel sender, yep. This set here goes to the back fuel sender, wires, the trunk light, if you're going to use a trunk light, dome light, tail light. A lot of them use the same color for like the parking lights, stuff like that. Makes it pretty easy. But yeah, they're pretty easy to do. Take this one here and lay it towards the back of the car. And the universal ones are a little longer than stock, so you don't run out of wire. And see, this right here is the ignition. Easy to tell that by the big plugs. Let me just put this up here on the column. And that basically will all plug right into the control box. That's your alternator wire. It's like this here. All the power windows, power door locks, whatever. And then if you don't have power windows, power door locks, you can use this to run other things. To just make a note of what you're going to use it for. That's your steering column, right there. It's right into the plug. Plug stuff. No, not it. This just goes all into the steering column. So we just put this over here. High beam switch. Simple enough. Plug that in, and that's ready to go. I like to have stuff like the emergency brake in. Anything that's fixed and you can't move, put it in. That way you don't have to worry about it and have wires in the way or having to move something later. This one here. this one here is probably the dash stuff. Yep, this is your dash senders right here. Put this up here. And this one here is, this is your power wires to your headlight switch right here. Take that and put it up here too. Yes. See, cruise control right here, which the car doesn't have cruise control. So stuff like this. I will just roll up an unused piece, just like that. So I know what it is, that it's unused. And we can use it for something else later on. Then alright, so that's just the basic layout. Everything's basically where it goes. This is the radio, so it's just lay there. Take and pull this one out. That basically gets everything organized right away. So you're not fumbling around in a pile of wires. So one of the little tricks I do when I do a wiring harness, like this is the back. Now this car, because it's a station wagon, I'm going to run underneath the car instead of running it through the body, because I have nowhere to put it. And then when you get to the back of the cargo hold, there's nowhere but laying on the floor. So it could get damaged. So I'm going to run it underneath the car. And I use masking tape. Instead of trying to use electrical tape, use masking tape. Wrap the wire. Just one turn, that's all you want. Just like that. So now you know your thickness of your pack. Take a pair of calipers or whatever you got and just measure it. That way you know the size of the grommet that you need, the hole. So then you just go into your grommets, dig through them until you find one that you want. I like to give them a little more space for a couple extra wires if you're going to need them later on. It just makes it easy. And then when you use the tape, if you have to run more wires, you want to keep them in the same bundle, you just rip it right open, stick new wire on, new piece of tape. It keeps everything nice and organized. If you use black tape, you're going to use a ton of black tape. Makes a mess, it's hard to tear. You use the old zip ties, you're going to use thousands of zip ties. But that's just an easy way I've found of doing them. Just a little piece of masking tape, hold them together. Just like that, ready to go again. Another good, easy thing to do. Got your label, tears off real easy. You know, look at them wires constantly going, where do they go? Get your masking tape and a marker or a pen, and write it on there, lay it there, and you know what it is. And here they are, they're just basically hung in their perspective areas. So now you're not working in a pile of wires and a big mess. Stuff like this, it's already ready to go because this goes to the back of the car. You just pull it on out. This is one of the reasons why I love these universal station wagons. Put a link of the sucker. You don't run out of wire. I have to, stuff like the power windows, they don't come with any of the wiring for them. They come with the power parts, which I usually put this into the console and then run the wires out to the motors. So you have to buy that and you have to add that in. When you're doing this, it's always a good idea to have a whole bunch of grommets. I like to hide my wiring harnesses, so I use a lot of grommets. And you take your calipers, and right there is the one I'm going to use. And it's thick, it's made for a thicker material. It's probably 16 gauge, 14 gauge that it's made to go through. But I use this because I have the floor sound deadener on it. And have your step bits. They're a lifesaver. You don't have to go after 1,000 different drill bits. But I'm in here and I'm gonna put the hole right about there. And that's where I'm gonna run the wires through to the back. That way they're all out of the way. If you have a pair of calipers, you can take the calipers and put it right on the grommet. So now you know what size hole you need to drill and you don't mess up. Then you take it right over your step bit, put it on, put it on your step bit. I know I need to be on this one right here. Then I take a grease pencil just like that, and that is my one right there. So now when you're drilling, you know you get to that spot, there's your hole. I've gone and taped up all my tails. I got a piece of tape on it all the way down the whole string, so it's all nice and tight. So as I pull it through, I'm not catching anything or taped together. But there's not going to be anything to hamper going through the hole or going through the chassis where I go through the chassis as I'm pulling it towards the back. And I've got my wheel well still out to make this easier. Just like that. Take it and go over the top of the chassis right here. Just like that. Now it's all under the car, out of the way. Just like that. You're gonna know it won't hit the wheel well. And when I put its guard on top of it, it'll be clean and you won't be able to see it. Get it over here and out of the way right now. We're working our way through it. It comes with the speaker wires in it. So I could run these under the carpet if I wanted to. But what I'll end up doing is running right through the center of the console, all the way to the back, go underneath the seat, and then come up on either side on those two. That'll work nice. Simple area to put them. This one here is my headlight section. So pull this through here. All the tails are taped up. You don't have any problem pulling stuff through holes. Always remember, drill grommet wire. Drill it and put the grommet right into it. Because it sucks having to pull wires back out of a hole you forgot to put a grommet in. or stick the grommet on the wires before you drill the hole. That way you don't forget it. Let's grab something. It's got the break. This back. There. There it is. Now you got your headlight wires, turn single wires, all that stuff all hung out right here. It's a good idea to leave the wheel wells out if you're going to do a custom or try to hide all the wires. Leave everything that's going to be in the way out of the way. You just put in what you need to work around. Go through your bag of parts and find whichever steering column piece you need. Get it on there. Snap it on there. And I like to mark it. Just put a little mark on it so you know that you're in the right side, because they're not that hard to get out. But it's a lot easier just to mark it beforehand and then put all your wires in. But you found your side and you got it marked. Just unplug it. Snip this off there to break them up. First wire is white. Second wire, green. Just follow your color code. And purple. Brown. And if you put it in wrong, it won't snap. Snap. Then you got blue. Just like that. Done. That easy. These are all the control wires. The control plug. So you take off these to get in. The new control pack. You just pop a small screwdriver. Work real good. Like that one. This one. Take this one off now. So when you look at these plugs, this side here, the small side, will have that little thing that you could push to get them out. That little thing right there. And if you find you can't get it to lock back in on the next one, you just bend these up a tiny bit. And they'll lock back in. And then there's your two power wires right there. Need to get the correct one here. Should be this one here. I always like to check them. Make sure you get the right ones there. And take these and okay, bend it up. Side. Bend that up a little bit. And slide it in there. Bend it up a little. Slide it in there, locked. Then you take that. Make sure get the right side. Plug that in. Then just like that. There's your power wire. Brown is accessory wire, which is right here. You take the brown wire from the box here into this one. Plug that one in. And then we need the brown wire. And this one here. And then that one plugs into this one. And then the orange wire goes on this one, which is this funky one right here. Don't want to go that way, this way, that way. And this one. This one's always a fighter right here. I don't know why this one's made this way. Just like that. Your brown wire, orange wires. Then all we have left is this one and the solenoid wire. This one here, I'm gonna chop that off. And Put one of these on there. In there. You're doing one harness or many. It's always a good idea to have these. It does make stuff go a lot smoother. Once you learn how to use them, they work great. That beautiful crimp. Just like that. Just like a factory crimp. And there's two different sizes on it. There's a big one and a small one. And then your little squeeze one, you can use to squeeze them together a little bit if you need to. But I mark the handle so I know which way it is. So that's the small one. That's the big one. So don't mess up. And right at the cap right here. Wrong side. Orange. That is the pink one. Goes on sideways. And the purple one, which is your solenoid starter. So that one. That's it. You plug it into the control box like that. You do all this kind of rough in first, and then you can clean these kind of wires up. Next, we take this set of wires right here. This set of wires right here goes under the hood. That's for all the gauges, the main power for the fuse box, solenoid, coil, water temp, oil, and electric choke. So we gotta place that. Find a hole, find a place to drill a hole and punch that through. All right. I need to pull the wires into the engine. I need to find a spot, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go probably like right here on the underside of the tunnel, right in that area. That way I can pull them through and come up the back of the transmission, and starter wires can go towards the starter, be tacked in against the engine block. So nice and clean. You'll be able to run them up to the distributor and everything else. So they'll all be pretty much covered up and hidden. All right, just like the other ones, grab my calipers and just on the piece of tape. See how big of a grommet I need. And then I go a little bigger, especially under the hood, because you don't know what other wires you're gonna run. You got AC, stuff like that. So give a little extra. I'm going to go with the grommet like that. That's how much bigger it is. Because I still got reverse lights to run through here, air conditioning to run through here, and whatever else has to go through. So that'll give me enough extra area. Then just take a piece of stuff and stick it in there when I'm done to block it up from any air coming through. I need to get my air box out of the way here. That's right, it's good to always have all this kind of stuff in its location when you start doing something like this, because you know where everything's going to go. This is about where I'm going to go. Calipers. Measure the hole. It's a 1-inch hole. Right there. It's right there. Grease pencil, mark it. And I do have dedicated bits for this, going through this mat, because it's horrible trying to clean them off. All right. Now, those in there. There you go. Engine wires, nice and hidden. All right, put the AC box back up. This is just a mock-up box I use. I ordered one of them. I ordered with defrost. I accidentally hit the wrong one and bought one without defrost. So I've been using it for a mock-up box for quite a long time. But it's a universal box too. Because a lot of the cars I build modify the firewalls and stuff, so original boxes won't fit anymore. This is the fuse block that comes with the wiring harness. And what I like to take and put these right around this area. It's nice to have everything hidden, but something like this, because you might need to access it, it's nice to have it to where you can find it or somebody can find it. So I mount them like here, down low, so you can barely see it. That way it's close to the alternator, it's close to the starter, and it's close to the fuse box. So everything's real close, keeps the wires tidy. It's the best spot I've ever found to mount them. So that's where that'll get mounted. There it is. You can see it from this side if you look. But basically you can't see it if you look from the front. Which works out pretty nice. Now we have on these ones, this is tack. This is your coil. This one here is your oil, water, choke, and your power wire for the fuse box. So this one will get cut down, brought into that, and then run to the alternator from that block. The beauty of the tape. how simple that is. Took me a couple wiring harnesses to figure out, get rid of the damn zip ties that they put on there. Because all there is a hassle. I don't know why they zip tie them so good. Just put the main parts together, zip tie it, and stop. But they zip tie the whole damn thing together. So, get rid of the zip ties, put it how you want it, and then go back when you're done and put the zip ties back on it. Out there. I always do all this stuff before I polish a car, so I don't have to worry about nicking the paint or something, scratching the clear coat, do a tiny repair, and then polish the car. All right. So, zero. Down in there like that. All right. It's gonna go about there. Add on a little bit more wire. That's probably 2 inches past, a little more. Chop that there. Bigger set. This side's not marked because I don't use them very much. It's very rare that you use the really big ones, but you still get the nice crimp. Then take it and put this one back on the box. Like that. These ones are the hard ones to smash. Got to really press on them to get these ones to crimp. But now, so now we got our fuse box power wire on. And now we have an alternator. I'm not going to do anything further with this because I don't know what front runner I'm going to get yet. So I'm going to leave this one hanging. If the alternator's on one side or the other, or down low, up high, who knows. So I won't do anything else with this wire until it comes to the end. My coil wire, I'm just going to do that with it right now. Lay it here. Starter solenoid. We'll get it about right there and just cut it. on the bottom side here. Not cutting a lot off. I'm only cutting enough off that it's not annoying in my way. This one here is a choke wire. You know the choke's going to be there. So we'll take it to about right there. Cut that one off. This one here is the temp sender. You know that's going to set right here. Cut that off about there. Like that. So we got a coil, a choke, temp. This one here is the tack, purple. So we know that's going to be the same length as this. Get rid of some of that. Then the oil sender. Chevy, you know, it's in the back, so we can go like that. That gets all the wires out of the way. Now I'll just put a piece of tape back on these ones here so they're not flopping all over around. We'll put tape on these again so they're not flopping around and getting stuck in everything. Keeps everything nice and tidy. All right, just like that. There's all the wires for the engine. Here, ready to go. All taped back together so they're still nice and tidy. So next, run all the headlight wires and the horn. Get all that laid out and in there. It's going to go up back side of this. Through here, down, go to the double headlights. Probably stay up here underneath the rail. Come across. But I'm hiding my harnesses. I need to hang them. I use these hang them up places. You can slip it right over the harness and poop. Just like that. And you still got room to run it. If you need to run more wires, little room in there for that. Work really, really good for doing that. Got right turn, high beam. This is low beam. This one is the longer one. This is low beam, the shorter one. This one here should be can't read it. This one here is the fan. This is one I'll use for the relays. Same as inside the car. Roll it up. And just let it hang. This is the other high beam. These are parking lights, brown wire. The one you can't read is the turn signal for the left. Yeah, it's basically the same thing. I just chop some off so I don't have tons of wire laying on the floor and tripping on it. There's about 2 feet extra on there. The headlight section done. Just run across the top. That's where I'm going to put it. Would be the best place to hide it is inside the little channel here. Won't be seen at all except for where it comes down at the headlights. The turn signals will be inside the headlights. So will the parking lights. And the horns, I'm going to stick them over here under the fender well, so they'll be hidden. And there's the fan relays. I can take those, put them over here in the corner somewhere. But there's the base wiring, all done. You can't hardly see any of it. This is my tail section. Tail lights, brake lights, all that. Got some of it started. Hooked up my reverse lights and put the grounds and stuff on. This back here will be hung up here on the body. So it's off that piece of the frame rail, but it just runs down the frame rail. For right now, I just got it hanging on the brake line. So it's up out of the way. But I'll put some clips on it and hang it inside the frame rail. It gets it all up out of the way nicely. I got all my brake light and turn signals wired in already. It's basically the same as doing the front. And I got my dome light wires right here too. I'll pull those back. I'm going to make a switch right here on the tailgate. So when you open the tailgate, the dome lights will come on. So I got my reverse lights already in. This is the license plate light. Put that in. But these little things are great. They're pretty bright for as tiny as they are. Then in here, I ran the dome light. Got the dome light all done. The way a dome light works, the power and the ground go to the lights, and then you run the ground back over to the switch on the door. You open the door, it grounds it. Close the door, breaks the ground. So on, off. Same with the headlight switch. Ran my AC line for the compressor. It's sitting here. Have to run it over to where the dryer is going to be. So I need to make the AC lines next here pretty soon, but I don't have any of that. I got to order that. I have to order the box. Power window switches, I got to order them too. Those are on the way. But from here on out, I start putting the car together, making it look pretty. Start doing some more upholstery work here.